most people believe we're living freely. But if you look at the way life is structured, you could see that we're following a geometric framework. You know, at first we live inside a box, and then we start questioning the corners and the invisible walls. And eventually life starts to soften a bit into a triangle, and then it gets a little bit more fluid into a circle. And if you keep going, everything collapses into a single point. Hello, my beautiful warriors of love, and welcome to this Let's Talk. It's all about shapes and sizes. It's all about geometry. Hello, we're going back to school. No, it's something that I was talking about with a friend, and I got this big realization as I was talking to her, and I decided, let's do this. Let's talk. Will it be a learning curve? Maybe. I did make some circles and squares here, but it's like just a visual representation of where we're at right now in our lives, right? And I brought a little marker as well. So everybody knows that I talk about the invisible box that we live in, right? We live in this box with, these corners that feel a little bit rigid, like that, you sometimes you feel this, it's like laced with stress and fears. And then these walls, very linear walls that are invisible to me, but they're there, right? You see them, and there's no door, right? There's no door in this box, right? And in this box lives expectations, how we should behave, how, status, money, power, respect, like all of that, success, which is all the same crap, relationships, family. Not to say that it's all bad, right? It's just that it's like this box, this limitation. I could go on and on and on, and I will. And this feeling of being cornered, feeling cornered at every step that you take, because this is the way we should live. It's a linear world, people. This is how we should live. We live within the box. Don't cross the box, because we don't know what's outside of the box. You don't know what's outside of there. And most people are like, okay, so let's just live. And inside, the biggest thing inside here is, we all know what Sabrina's going to write, and it's 4 letters, and it's fear. Fear. The fear of breaking the box, or breaking down the invisible walls, or collapsing it, entirely, or, making a doorway through it. That's like what all of these us, which I say is us, the ones that are on this evolutionary journey, doing. Like, we're past the box at this point. I'm totally past the box, right? But of course, I do regress back into the box sometimes, because old energies show up, old fears, old doubts, old trauma shows up, and then I put one foot back into the box, and my body is like, and my soul is like, absolutely not. We're not going to stay here. And you can even feel it in your energy field, that it doesn't even feel right? Like, you're like, no, this is not where I'm at anymore. I'm not like, it's not necessary for people to see how worthy I am by what I'm wearing, by what I do with my life, or whatever it is. There's all following the rules, right? And it's not to say that I don't follow rules at all. Like, of course I follow certain rules, but sometimes this is societal pressures, family pressures, friend pressures, life pressure that's in here, that there's no way out, because all we're doing is just like going from one corner to the next, one corner to the next. And then, you start at this corner, and you go to the next one. So that's the rebellious part of you, like, okay, I'm not going to do this. And then you find yourself, okay, I'm stuck here again. Okay, I'm going to go down this one. And you're like, okay. But then you get stuck again. And then you realize, okay, I just hit all the 4 corners. And that's when you feel stuck. And this is when you feel lost. Because now you're like circling within this square and you're like, oh, fuck. Right? Like, what do I do now? And then you step into the spiritual journey, let's say. Okay, this is perfect. Perfect foray into this. And you move into this, the triangle, right? The triangle to me is, I always put the mind on top because it's that crown chakra, right? It's the head. And then whatever, the body, the soul, right? So we've collapsed one line, right? We've been able to move out of this, and now you feel a little bit freer. You're like, okay, I succeeded in collapsing that one line, which is awesome, by the way. By the time you get out of here, if you can get like one line out of here and you get into this, like already you feel free. You feel like, okay, things are starting to make sense again, you know? But what happens here, right? This is the spiritual world, by the way. Spiritual narrative, you know, if you actually think about it. And this is the linear narrative, right? This is the matrix. The matrix. I love this. I should become a teacher. I always wanted to be a teacher. Right? The matrix, which it's fine, and I don't want to dishonor this either. I honor the matrix and the linear world and the box that because for me it's my lesson. It's an accomplishment. What I just did here is move into this. My avatar was able to collapse one of the lines. Whoa, like kudos to us, right? And kudos to you too for getting to this point, you know. And if you're still stuck in here, then it's okay, because if you're here with me, then you're and if you're getting triggered by this, it's also okay, right? Because me too, at one point I may have gone triggered by someone telling me I was in a box, and I'd be like, no, fuck you, I'm not in a box. But maybe I was in a box. Of course I was. I cared about status. I cared about power. I cared about money. I cared about all this shit when I was young. I did, 100%. I followed other people. I walked on eggshells around people. I stayed quiet. I dimmed my light when I didn't want to cause problems, right? We all people pleased. We all lived with expectations on ourselves, on other people. We all lived in fear. We all live in blame and shame and doubt and betrayal and all of the bullshit. We all lied. We all did all these things, right? We all did these things. So I don't look back and say, oh, I'm such a terrible human that I lived in this. I look at it and say, wow, freaking A, man. I survived this. That's freaking awesome. So, like, literally. And when you get to the triangle, like I said, and when you step back into the square, you go, oh, you can recognize already a broken pattern, you know, already a broken, like something that's not working. You can already feel the frequency difference between the two. And trust me, because most of our lives are lived in the linear box. And that's, most people actually get born in here and die in here, right? And we probably have done this many lifetimes. You know, birth, death, always in the box. And at one point, you get here, which feels freeing, because then, like, the idea is this is like the top of your head, the crown chakra, right? And the body and the soul. The soul is like in the lower chakras, let's say, like the soul earth, the soul star chakras kind of thing. And this is the body, which is the root chakra, which I don't want to talk chakra right now. What I want to talk about is there's still points. There's still corners, right? There's still a corner here, and a corner here. So what we do on this journey is that obviously the mind is carried here, from here. The ego is our best friend in the square. So the ego comes into this one. Of course, it still remains with us because it's still part of our program, and it's also because, like I've said in previous videos, it's also been our partner in helping us through the toughest moments, and we have to honor the ego. Which I'll write the ego, right? And so we get to this part, and then we play here now. We're playing in the spiritual world. We're recognizing our soul. You know, some of us are recognizing our body, some of us are not. It's okay. We're going through this, and we're like, again, you know, then you live in this transcendent reality, and then you live in the dragons and spirits and angels and devils, and you live in all this kind of awareness, which is beautiful. And this is spiritual awareness. It's like gorgeous. But then you hit the corners again, right? You're like, okay, mind, body, mind, you know, mind, soul, body, soul. It's like, okay, it becomes linear again. And this becomes the narrative again. So you're kind of stuck in this triangle again. I don't see anything freeing about a triangle, because you're still like boom, 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 right? Okay, you collapse one of the lines. Awesome, beautiful. But now what? Now what we're doing is just bouncing off each other. We're bouncing off, you know, light and love, you know, angel, devil. You know, we're still labeling shit. Angel, devil, body, whatever that is. Okay, body is whatever it is. Earth, like, you know, Earth, Mother Earth. You know, oh, that's really beautiful, actually, Sabrina. It's really like this. You know, it's like, and then we're still making differentiations between the angel is good and the devil is shit, and Mother Earth, you know, needs to be protected, and we need to, like, keep her in the triangle, which is what we're doing. We're keeping Mother Earth. I'm going to protect Mother Earth. I'm going to protect her, but you don't need to protect anybody. And you are the devil, and you are the angel, and you are the Mother Earth. But you're keeping her, again, like locked in this triangle. And to me, this is very linear. It still remains linear. So what happens next? What happens next is we move into the circle, which still, soul, body, let's say, boom. I want to bring up something, because I was just thinking about this when I was doing this. You know, like, if we just go back to the triangle, like the mind, the fact that it's like pointing upwards, I feel like it's very still like structured, you know, where what happens here is that we focus too much on the soul, let's say, like we're too much in our emotions, you know, or we too much in our mind, which a lot of you can relate to, right? A lot of you are like, I'm overthinking, I'm super anxious all the time, and I can't regulate my emotions, and I can't regulate my body because of it, because I'm stuck here, because you're stuck in that point. And then you release yourself from that stuckness, and then you go into emotions, and you're like, okay, I'm over the overthinking, and now I'm in full-on depression, you know? Like, I'm crying all the time, I can't deal with it. And then after, you know, it's like, it's a constant, like, it's a constant. And it's the same thing as the square, right? The square and the triangle, it becomes the same thing, because you're just like traveling down the same road every single time. And this is a beautiful realization. Then we move into a fluid circle where everything starts to integrate. All these stuck energies start to integrate into one, kind of, right? We start to integrate the ego and the soul into the body, into the ego, into the bowl. So you start to see things as unified, right? Not as separate, because here they're still separate, the matrix and the triangle. Your body, your mind, your soul. It's not a one. It's not a team. I've done a video recently about how we are a team and we have to work together. So we feed into each other, and we love each other, and we honor each other. And there's no like anxiety lives here, you know, or the angel lives here and the devil lives there, and like, no, it's all together, right? It all becomes one. Like, you're the angel, you're the devil. The polarities, they fall into each other. You love, then you hate. You love, and you're a lover and you're a hater, and you have to, an acceptance of that. Because what happens here, sorry, what happens here is exactly that. You know, like the more and more I'll go back to this again and again, because, you know, the soul, you're the light, you're the dark. It's one or the other in the triangle. Like, you cannot have both. It doesn't work, because no. And that's how I started to question my spirituality in these groups, in these communities, because I'm like, what do you mean I'm one or the other? Like, it doesn't work like that. Like, there's not like the devil and the angel, we're all working in this together. Because I am both. I am the light and the shadow. And I couldn't see my light if I didn't have my shadow. And I couldn't see my shadow if I didn't have my light. Like, they work together. Right? And it's like, this is integration. This is what's happening right now in my life. I'm in this acceptance of all parts of me. Mind, body, soul. All of them. I'm grateful to my ego, because it's helped me through my 50 plus years on this earth. It's helped me through the shittiest of times. Yeah. The soul was there too, but I wasn't listening to the soul. I wasn't. I was being led by my ego. So I have to be grateful to it for the first part of my life. It helped me. You know? I don't need it anymore as much. And it knows, because I'm more connected to my soul. But at the same time, we're still working together. Right? That's the collapse. This is when I talk about a lot, many videos ago or eons ago, I talk about the collapse of timelines. This is what it is, the collapse of all of it. And it's the trusting of the body. When you trust the body, you trust the ego, you trust the soul. It just becomes a trust thing. It's not them being separate entities anymore. That's what I'm trying to come at. Because here, they live in separate corners. Expectation is here, fear is here, blame is here, shame is here, hate is here, anger is here. All of them have their own little rooms in the house. Even if we do this, let's just do it like this. Oh, look at this. Look who shows up here, okay? So in the house, we have the triangle and the square. Where we first start here, we enter into the square that has no exit, by the way. And it has all these rooms, right? All these rooms. I mean, this is a really big house because it has a lot of rooms, but anyways. And all these rooms are filled with all our shit inside of it, right? Everything that we have to deal with. The grief, the fears, the anger, all of it. The betrayals, all of it is all in here. And then eventually we get to the attic and we say, what the frick is this shit? I need to clear all of this shit. And then you move into spirituality, which is the triangle, right? You're like, oh, I see the light, I see the light. Because at the top, there's a nice solar panel and there's the sun and the light is shining in to the solar panel. And you're like, oh, I see things a little bit more clearly now. I can't live in these little squares anymore. I gotta get in here. I gotta move up the ladder. It's all like the stairway to heaven. Like I gotta move up into the stairway to get there. And which is really beautiful. And we can live, and we live in this house framework for years. But eventually start seeing that, again, it's very limiting. Because, again, it's just a house, right? You can expand, right? You can put a solarium in the back, or you could keep expanding the house. It's just what humans do all the time. We're going to expand. This is a metaphor, of course, right? We're going to pack in more belongings, which is more junk from the past. We're going to keep everything stored in the attic. We're still going to keep things stored in the attic as I lighten my load, right? As I believe in higher sources and I believe things, and you start, okay, this is where you start unpacking those belongings, right? You start getting in, you're like, oh, okay, I see now. I don't need to keep everything so packed here. And I kind of like this metaphor, how this is happening, because in this triangle, this is when you start to maybe build other, but that's not the point, is to build other things. And what the spiritual world does is that it has built another narrative of, you know, fairies and dragons, and which is beautiful, by the way, because I love it. But let's build another, annex to the house that is like filled with astral projections and filled. But it's all stories again. It's all narratives that it's beautiful to move into 100,000%, and I'm not taking away from you, and I'm not taking away from myself either. But at one point you're like, I'm not the story anymore, right? That's attachment of storylines. So never mind that we have to release ourselves from, you know, family, friends, you know, relationships, money, you know, our attachment to money, our attachment to, you know, fear, you know, our attachment to unworthiness, grief, you know, I can go on and on. Anger, sadness, you know, like I can go on and on and on. We have these attachments, and they are, or attachments to like the fairy world, you know, witches, like the stories, the storylines. It's all this. It's like why are we attached? I attach to these things too. You know, I was burned at the stake, and I was like, but okay, it's done, over. Why am I holding on to this? There's no point. There's no reason for us to hold on. The only reason I say this is because I'm interested in evolution. Actually, I'm interested in evolving away from the box, the shapes. I'm done. I'm done with the house. I'm done with this. It was beautiful. I lived a really beautiful life, but I'm like interested in this right now. But even this is, to me, is limiting, because I'm in this place where I'm integrating all of it. Because I'm doing the work, by the way, I'm still releasing all of this. I'm clearing my boxes. I don't know if you listen to one of my other videos, and I'm going to be really elementary, so don't you like about this, because I have no clue about drawing. Okay, so it's a really like okay, so like little men are the sailors. This is the vessel, you know. So a boat. These are the sailors. This is you with the captain's hat or the baseball hat, or whatever you want to say. And these little portholes are all the freaking issues that we carry, right? Again, it's the same idea. We're still like coming back to the boat, to the house. We're still like constantly. This is not I am connected. I'm in the circle right now, and I'm integrating, but I still like find myself in the house or the boat again. Like I do, always. I'm always there. I'm clearing out the old energies. But right now, what's happening is the energies are coming up, and I'm not attaching. I'm not like putting them into the bedroom or keeping them in the living room, or I'm not keeping them, you know, in the attic or wherever. I'm seeing them there, and I'm like, absolutely not. I'm not closing the door either, because that's burying it. I'm opening the freaking door. And I'm incinerating that shit, right? I don't want to see it anymore. I'm done. But I'm acknowledging it, and I said, I see you. You know, I thank you for having, like, I don't, like, it sucks. You like cause a lot of pain in my body, but I'm done with holding this pain. Why would I want to hold this pain anymore? I don't want to, you know? So that's what's happening with the circle. The circle is like, we're just allowing the energy to flow again. Like, I just can take abundance, money. So many people have relationships, like odd relationships with money. Me included, right? I've had some weird relationship with money. And the moment I let go of all expectations and let go of all fears and let go of all of it and just trusted that the universe is going to take over and like dole out, because for the longest time, right, I'm doing this for you guys and I do sessions and I do that, but what my work is not consistent. It's not like, oh, tarot sessions come in every single day, and it's not that. It's like I can go a week without tarot readings. I can go a week, but somehow like in the next, and then a week after it could be like 5 or 6 in a row, right? Or not. There's nothing consistent about my job. And it makes a lot of people who live in the house, who live in my life, very nervous. Oh my God, how do you like survive? You know, and you know, you're at an age where you should know you have everything in your life, but that was not my journey. My journey was to learn how to integrate all of this. My journey was to let go of all of this status and all of this, I have to be here at this place in my life. I have to follow, you know, I have to have a big home and many cars and many things to show people that I'm in a great place. No, it's not where I'm supposed to be. I was supposed to move through this uncomfortable journey and continuously move through discomfort. But the journey for me, the discomfort for me has become plausible and actually pleasant, which is very disturbing. I like a few days ago, I was sitting and I was uncomfortable as F. And I said, there's an energy flowing here and I don't know what it is, but I didn't ask about it anymore. I don't go, okay, where is it coming from? Is it like from my childhood? Is it from my teenage year? And I didn't ask about it. I just said, oh, there's something here. And I'm allowing you to process. And I'm just going to sit and cry it out, or whatever the hell the emotion is coming out, I'm going to honor it. And I'm going to tell you honestly, that emotion that came up, it was gone in like 10 minutes, like I'd say. Like I didn't time it, but it was gone. I didn't even think about it after. I did a soul drop on my channel for it at the moment, and then it was gone. And that's integration. Integration is this collapsing of timelines of past, present, future, if you want to say that. If all of your attachments, it's all of this thing, and it's like just allowing it to just flow and not hold back on it again. Just say, okay, go. And it might show up again, because the circle, again, like I said, we look at the linear, but the circle is a little bit more malleable, but it's still like, I'm still stuck in here. I'm still like stuck in here. Like there's not many places to go, right? I'm still like in it. I can't really, I'm still like, it's a little bit more fluid and it feels a little lighter. Yeah, you know, but I'm still in the circle. It's still a loop for me. The same way, like people say, you know, the infinite loop, right? To me, people are like, oh, it's so beautiful, the infinity loop. I'm like, no. To me, it looks very constricting again. Because I'm still stuck in something. That's not like, it's not pleasant for me to look at that. The eventuality of this is when we start collapsing, because we start to integrate all of this, and everything will just become natural, and things will show up in our lives and we'll process them easier because we won't attach them. So like today, I know I'm going to go off in circles, but this is what I do. So I was at a cafe again, because that's where Sabrina lives. And I was talking to a girl that I see often there, and she was talking, we were talking about, I totally lost my concentration. Fluidity. Wow, I totally forgot. Okay. Infinity. Like, it feels like, no, I don't know. Okay. So, see, these little moments, I'm going to tell you, like right away, so many people I talk to that say, oh my God, you're forgetting everything. You know, that right away people will move into, oh my God, you're going to get dementia, or you're going to get Alzheimer's. And I say to myself, wow, this is the best thing ever. If I'm forgetting something in my mind, I think it's like, wow, it wasn't important. So my mind is not attaching to it. Right? A lot of you guys forget things, like forget even where you put your keys, or forget where you put, like, and to me it's information that's not important for you. And people remember like the littlest things, you know, from your past, and then you're like, I remember the blue dress that I wore when I was 7 years old, but I can't remember like 3 days ago. Okay, because 3 days ago was important, and that blue dress must have, like, you felt something really exciting that day, or maybe it was very dreadful that day, and you would remember it, right? It's like, just let it go. It doesn't matter. Like right now, I have no freaking idea what I'm going to tell you. And it's all good because it obviously wasn't important. So if we're going back to this, when you become like, when you allow love to flow, when you allow money to flow, and I was talking about money, right? I was talking about money. Anyway, whatever. When you allow all this to flow, that eventually collapses and ends up in a dot. like a very unseen dot. And to that, some people are a little bit disturbed by that. Actually, they're like, what do you mean I'm going to become a dot? I'm a molecule, an atom, a nothing? Yeah, you are. That is the whole goal of us, is to crystallize and diamondize into nothing. Right? But so in the meantime, can we just enjoy this moment? Like, wherever you're at, like, I literally, wherever, like, it doesn't matter where I want to be, right? But if you're in the matrix, in the square, and if you're in the triangle, and if you're in the circle, can you enjoy those moments instead of always looking at, like, living life in a corner? You know, to me, when I was in the square and I started questioning the square, the corners, and the walls, and the roof, and the floor, it's like everything, you know, it was making everybody uncomfortable around me. But for me, as my avatar, I just couldn't live in that anymore, right? And as you can see, I'm having a hard time living in any kind of shapes or forms because it feels very limiting to me. I want to live a more expansive life, and I don't think it's idealistic, and I don't think it's unrealistic. I don't resonate with that kind of thinking. And if I did, then I would be living in the box, right? And that's okay. Like, everybody, like, I can show you all the amateur, like, drawings, but at the end of the day, you choose the shape you would like to live in. You choose the life that you want to live in, and many people will feel safe in this. Many people do feel safe here in living with all of these buried emotions, because you've lived like that your whole life. So you've gotten used to living with pain and with, like, you've lived with grief. I live with grief my whole life, so it's fine. I don't mind if I feel pain. I don't mind if I get angry and I rage bait people. I don't care. This is just part of me, right? People can do that. And I'm like, okay, kudos to you. Like, I mean, not kudos, but I don't know. Should I say good for you? I mean, I honor you. I honor your choices in life. But I don't choose. And my goal is to get to the dot. And but I'm enjoying the journey and I kind of enjoyed this whole like discussion right here because I find it very fascinating that we've lived like, you know, I hated math, but the only thing I liked in math was geometry because it's like creative. Like there's like isosceles and scaling, triangles. There's like interesting freaking shapes. But at the same time, this leads us into another video that I'm going to do about the devil. Actually, I'm going to talk about the devil and how in the devil card he is like he has the lovers as prisoners, but he has shackles on them that are open. So it's like I guess again invisible restraints, right? Like invisible fears, because everything is an illusion, right? And that's another video. We're not going to do that today. In conclusion, it's just like when we're on this journey, you know, the majority of people continue to live here, but a lot of people wish to escape the box, right? I mean, that's the journey that we're on. And then we escape and we move into the triangle, where a lot of us stay for the longest time because we try to perfect the triangle. We try to work on our mind, work on our body, work on our soul, but not allow them to work together. We, you know, alienate each of them into separate boxes, kind of thing, into separate corners. And then the circle shows up, and then we get addicted to the flow of life, right? We enjoy this fluidity where love exists unconditionally, where abundance is yours because you're flowing, right? Where life is seamless at this point, where things are just flowing. My anger flows instead of stops at a corner, you know? My fear comes in and comes out, but it still comes in, right? Because it's inevitable, it's going to come up again. That's what I'm saying. That's why the circle is like, okay, it's beautiful, but we're still always having to face, which is beautiful, actually, really, because we do need to face them until we clear them all. Because the point, where's the point? The point, it's so small. I think it's probably not even the right point, but let's do a bigger point. Okay, the point is the nothing, is the stillness, is the unknown. It's what I always talk about. It's like the goal is the unknown, where we have no freaking idea what's coming, right? Which is what I'm in a little bit as well. Like when I get like signals from my body, my mind, my soul, and it's like, well, like they're not telling me anything, right? You don't know. You have no idea. So trust it, right? Like we're not going to give you information, Sabrina, that you're not going to understand at this point in time where you're at. So okay, it makes sense. It's like the quiet. It's the moment that people dread in this life, because imagine you go from here to this nothing zone, right? It's like, what the hell? There's nothing. There's no walls. There's nothing to support you physically. There's nothing. Because you don't need any physical support anymore. You don't need external support anymore. Your internal is working at 100%. And your internal, your external, it's all like assimilated anyway. It's all integrated. So there's nothing, you're in full trust of self. You know, you're in full love of self. You're no longer seeing mirrors. Right? The Matrix, oh my God. The Matrix is like mirrors. Like the Matrix is mirrors all around. Mirrors all around. And this too. It's still has mirrors, right? And the circle, sorry, but the mirrors are all around us too. They just flow a little bit easier. The mirrors come and go, and the mirrors come and go. And you see them in the circle. You're like, oh, I see this mirror. It's gone. Right? So this is the evolution of the geometry here. And we end up here, which takes a long, long time, and not a lot of humans reach this before they leave the earth. And that's why we come back to get to this point again. You know, it's like a challenge to do nothing, right? To get to where life like doesn't move anymore. Or even if life is moving, even if like even if chaos comes in, does that even look like here? Even if chaos shows up, we're here, and we're able to stand in this chaos. And even if there's waves, and even if there's tornadoes coming through, we're able to sit in it without like our mind going into like, without anything derailing, without anything. We're just able to like be in it, right? And I guess that this is the Buddha point, right? This is nirvana. This is where you're like, oh. So before we get to here, let's enjoy these shapes. Like, even if you're in it, like when you're honest enough to say, I'm still in the box, Sabrina, oh, that's fucking awesome, right? Because you're acknowledging the fact that you're still in the box and it's okay. But I see a door opening. Awesome. Take it. You know, collapse that wall and get into the triangle. And maybe you'll go from the square to the circle. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. I'm just explaining to you where I like moved in my journey, right? Maybe you'll go from the square to the dot in no time. Like I feel as we evolve, I think people will be like humans, the new humans coming on Earth, the new little babies, are a little bit more evolved than us. So like anything goes. But I just wanted to share this with you because I thought it was like a beautiful way to look at our lives. And just like not be so hung up on, and like I'm a very creative person. I'm very visual. So when I see these things, I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, right? Am I going to live in the square today? Am I going to live in a triangle, Sabrina? Are you living in the circle, Sabrina? Does it really matter? No. Okay. Right? So like, it's okay. Like this is me having fun with life. And like, come on, like I'm sure you all enjoyed this drawing. And you're gonna have nightmares about this drawing. So I love you all, and thank you so much for joining in my crazy. And you know, I'm just leaving here, just something to think about or not. I'll see you in the next video. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Super thanks me if you can. If you can join me on my Ko-fi membership, I do monthly tarot. Also, if you want to donate or book a session with me, you know what to do. Everything's down below. I love you. Bye.